Bitcoin under attack by Greenpeace, and Binance is halting all transaction trading. Guys, get ready. Welcome to Debate Crypto.
It's your boys, Keeper and Crusader, and we are here on a beautiful Friday. I'm just wondering, what plans do you have for the weekend, Crusader? Anything exciting going on down there in the MIA?
More work.
More work. All right. We're working. We're working hard for you. Hopefully everybody in the chat has got a big plans for the weekend. Looking forward to having some fun. Be safe out there. All right, let's get into it. First of all, smash those likes if you haven't already. We are looking at, let's see if we can hit at least 50 likes today. Let's make that happen, chat. What's on the podium today, Crusader?
Dude, we got, like I mentioned earlier, right? Greenpeace is coming after Bitcoin, trying to make it go to proof of stake. We got some news of the XRP law case. So all you XRP maxes out there, get excited for the stablecoin. Might actually have another move of maybe 2%. But outside of that, we also have Binance, right? They've halted trading. And we've got, what was the last piece? The last piece was...
we had Greenpeace.
No, I already mentioned that.
Greenpeace,
the
NASDAQ.
Binance.
No, we've got
that's right, NASDAQ.
Yep.
NASDAQ.
NASDAQ is
offering some Bitcoin services in June of this year.
Yeah, custody.
All part of the plan, man.
Excited to talk about that. XRP fam to the moon, baby. We're gonna get a big move coming up here soon. We're just waiting. We are the most patient people on planet Earth, and I hope that patience pays off. All right, let's dive into it. Let's take a look at the crypto markets. Let's take a look at the market cap, see what's going on. Let me update this. Drum roll, please. The global crypto market cap's at 1.15 trillion with the T dollars. That's down 2.29%. Markets are down a little bit. Bitcoin not down much, 27,728. That's down 0.86% right now. ETH's at 1756, down a couple percent, almost 3%, 2.68%. BNB, you know what? I'm kind of surprised. BNB's only down a couple percent, and we're going to dive into Binance and what they have going on over there.
That one always hold up really, really strong, even through bad news.
Yeah, that one actually really did surprise me. I expected to pull the charts and see a move to the downside from BNB. XRP fam, I know we got a case update. We're still almost up 13% on the week, but we're down almost 4% on the day. So that's what we got through the top 10. Crusader, what are the charts telling us? What's LuxAlgo saying is popping off on the charts?
Yeah, let me go take a look over there. Let me bring up my chart. So here we go. As you guys can see here, right outside on the daily, we've had this back and forth, I guess what Frankie Candles will call bing bong, between these two levels of 29,000 and 27. If we zoom in here so you guys can see this a little bit better, the FOMC meeting on Wednesday dropped us from 29,000, 28.9, all the way down to 26.7. We've bounced back up, used 27 as support, had a green candle yesterday. And then once again today, we broke past 29, all the way to 29.2 something, almost 29.3. And we've come back down again. So, I mean, there's just this like small level of support here that you guys can see here between, you know, this resistance right here, and then we're just using this heart line as a level of support that we're just crawling up slowly. Hopefully this median, this heart line can keep holding up as support and we can get through this, right? The MACD, as you can see here on LuxAlgo, is not bueno. It's going down, right? No bueno there at all. On the daily, the LuxAlgo still looks pretty good, still on the strong trend catcher. We jumped down to the 4-hour. Maybe told us a different story, but no, it's also still strong buy, still in the green. The EQ cloud still bullish. MACD is a little bit less bullish here. RSI has kind of cooled off on the 4-hour down to 48, so it's kind of neutral right now. Let me check out the daily RSI again. Daily RSI is kind of still in the higher end, not complete overbought territory. As you guys can see back here, we could hyperextend outside of that and exist out there for a while. We just kind of been getting rejected at this higher level of RSI. But yeah, man, it's just one of these things that we're hearing more banks going down. I think it was a douche bank today, went down 32%.
Definitely not how you say that. Definitely not how you say that.
Yeah, douche bank is down 32%. Could be the next one to bite the dust. And I think all these bank situations are gonna be what sustains Bitcoin's movement if we do continue to see a sustained movement upward.
Yeah, I did a short earlier today. Guys should check it out. That just is this is all an advert. If you're over in the UK, it's an advertisement for Bitcoin and what's happening with the banking institutions, lack of trust from people towards what they normally would look to as financial safety. And they're saying, wait a minute, this isn't adding up, and I don't feel good about what's happening. And Bitcoin, as Natalie Brunell explained so well in the video, Bitcoin is that safe haven where I don't have to trust anybody. Legitimately, I have to trust some computer code. And that computer code we're going to talk about a little bit later. Greenpeace has got a problem with it. And so we're shaking in our boots. We got to save the planet. But in the meantime, just make sure to stack that Bitcoin. All right, let me say hi in the chat real quick. Who we got up in the house today? We got the Biomex, first one in the chat today. Unforgettable name. Puddles up in the house. DJ, what's going on? Secret Soul Society, what's going on, Billy? We have got the host. That's us. And let's see. Anybody else? Seize Crypto. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And D Crypto Bags. And then Red Robles. Red Robles always has some good stuff to toss into the comment section. We'll pay attention for everybody. If you have anything, toss it into the chat. We'll probably do a poll or two today. And then just as a reminder, we are live over on a Twitter space as well. We're going to be doing that every day, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. as part of our stream. And if you do want to do effectively a call in, you can toss a super chat in, put your Twitter name in there, and you can call in and ask any question live on the YouTube show. So check that out. Looking forward to somebody jumping in and taking us up on that offer. But let's get into it. Let's kick it off with a little bit of NASDAQ information. We need to follow the regulatory things that are happening. We also need to follow what's happening in our legacy financial banking system. So, breaking: NASDAQ to offer crypto custody services soon, despite regulatory burden. Now, before I pull this article, or before I dive into this a little bit further, I think that this is an interesting even headline. They're like giving you this little piece of hopium and then saying, but there's still regulatory pressure. But I think it's a good thing. It's saying, hey, if the NASDAQ's jumping in, they might know something that you don't. They might know something that we don't. And I would assume that they do. So they're set to launch their crypto custody services by the end of quarter two. Crusader, what was it? June, I think? Is that the end?
I believe so. I believe it was in sometime in June.
Okay. So they are trying to expand, obviously, into the crypto space. And it's a limited, so they call it a limited purpose trust company charter. That's with the New York Department of Financial Services. Now, it's obviously with New York for a reason. That's where it's located. But damn, that kind of sucks because New York is tough on things. Ira Auerbach is the senior VP. He confirmed that the group is working to meet all of the regulatory requirements. So again, they might know in the background what regulatory hoops that they're going to have to jump through, and them getting involved and saying, hey, we'll custody crypto could be a really good thing. On the flip side, it could be a bad thing as well. This could be another way for them to get their grimy little fingers in on crypto and try to centralize and put us back into that legacy financial system. So they're going to be doing a bunch more moving forward. They've got execution, liquidity services. They're going to look at supporting new markets. There's a bunch of stuff that's going to be going on long term. Overall, Crusader, bullish or bearish on the NASDAQ getting involved in crypto custody? It's custody now for right now.
Do you want to hear a theory? A conspiracy theory?
Yes.
All right. So my theory on what's happening here with this piece of news, right, is we're seeing banks collapsing right now, right? And we're seeing a concentration of wealth into the top 10, top 15, top 20 banks, whatever you want to call them, right? Yep. Whatever amount survives. Point is, what does that do? That allows effectively, if all these smaller banks start collapsing and they're going to be bailing out these big banks only, and they have a small list of big banks that survive this, that allows a CBDC, which they've already been talking about, to be released faster because they're all friends, right? All their smaller banks that might have given up might have said, hey, I don't want to do that. I don't think that, any kind of resistance, they're gone. Only the top banks are left. They're all in the bag. They're all part of the same dinner parties. They're all going forward with the CBDCs. All right, cool. CBDCs, super beneficial to the government, not to the people. These banks also, right? They're not just banking and holding your retail money. They're holding investment money. They're also investment hedge funds and all these things. They need to make money, and they're not going to be making money off the CBDC, right? Besides the 4, 5, 10%, whatever they're going to be making APY, like they do with the Federal Reserve, they are going to need assets to make money with. What's that going to be? That's going to be Bitcoin, right? So they're parallel doing both things. They're crushing banks, consolidating wealth into the top 10 banks to be able to produce the CBDC with the least amount of resistance possible, and at the same time starting to provide you with Bitcoin crypto trading services for their clients, so they can also benefit on that and then eventually sell you a premium by the time the next halving happens and the next bull market takes off. Then they sell you a premium on those assets that they've been buying for dirt cheap, and at the same time they got you with the CBDCs that they can make sure they control your on ramp and off ramp and how you handle the financial services outside of crypto.
That is a deep analysis. I like it, and I can get on board with all of it. I wonder, and I always look at this and wonder how much of this is like a foreseen like game plan where they started in looking years ago and said, hey, we've got to. None of it. You think this is all reactionary? Like you think everything that's happening, they're just reacting.
It's all part of it.
Oh, you said you said all of it. I think you said none of it. Well, I think I would agree with a lot of it, but I also think they probably didn't foresee some of the events that have happened. So I know some of it has to probably be somewhat reactionary, but I agree with you. I think the mass majority of what's happening has been, how do we mold and shape the financial institutions, first of all, to get on board. Then secondly, how do we get into the crypto space while looking like we're trying to help the people, while at the same time continuing to line our own pockets? And I think that's what we're seeing here. They're going to have access, because when you look farther into this article, this wasn't on my notes, but when you look farther into the article, it talks about how only the institutional level investors are going to be able to do this at first. And why do we always hear that?
Accredited investors.
Yes. And so why do we always hear the big money gets the first shot at it? Well, because they're probably going to have some sort of incentives that are going on. They're probably going to be able to do things that you and I aren't going to be able to do. So, Oh, that one's too deep. I couldn't even catch that one. What'd you say?
I said because they are the boss.
Yes, like the Satan voice that was. They are trying to be the boss, and if they're custodying your crypto, I would caution. Throw it out there. We've got a ledger link down below the stream. There's a reason we harp on self-custody. You don't want to rely on somebody else to custody your crypto. It's scary at first, yes, but I promise you, it's easy. It's a smooth transition, and it is a comforting feeling to know where my keys are, where my crypto is. I mean, besides the boating accident where I lost most of it, besides that, the little bit that I do have left, it's very comforting to know I don't have to rely on somebody else.
Yeah, dude, those mother will go after any single crypto you have, and if you're not self-custodying and being your own bank,
yeah,
you're gonna have problems.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of problems, first of all, smash that like if you haven't already. We've got about 25 people in the chat. It's Friday, and everybody's getting ready. Everybody's getting ready to go. Everybody's getting ready to party. But before you do, you're getting your dose of Debate Crypto. So we appreciate you for being here. But speaking of problems, Binance. Now, this is super speculative, but we're going to dive into this a little bit and see kind of what we can come up with here. It says, breaking, Binance temporarily suspends spot trading. All right. Yes. That is correct. So Binance, which is obviously the world's largest crypto exchange, temporarily halted trading due to a, quote, issue impacting its platform. The team is working to resolve a problem. Now listen to how nuanced and how vague this is. The team is working to resolve the problem as soon as possible, but no further details have been provided. The community reacted with a mix of concern, some being reassured, the other saying, hey, move over to decentralized exchanges instead. Obviously, that's going to be negative for Binance. Should people do that? And CZ told everybody on Twitter, he said, hey, listen, we're working on it. Bitcoin was really unaffected by it, But Crusader, what are your thoughts? You see the largest exchange halt spot trading altogether, even if it's just for a little bit of time. What do you
Yeah,
think
man.
maybe was going on?
Dude, like, I don't know, right? We see this from time to time. Coinbase does it, Binance does it, right? It's not the first time Binance has halted trading. It just, I don't honestly, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the reason is. I know they've done it in the past when they've had some like illegal activities or some type of hacks and they're trying to offload money, right? And they try to close things down to make sure they catch them. In this instance, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speculate why. I'm not gonna create any FUD or anything like that. But I just want to remind people, just like banks, decentralized exchanges, just like you are hearing right now, will shut trading, will shut withdrawals, will shut deposits at any moment in the day that they feel like it. And you can't do anything about it because you are not self-custodying at that moment. So this just is an example of once again, just how Keeper was saying earlier, self-custody, hardware wallets is the way to go. Centralized exchanges should only have whatever little bit of money you're going to be using at that moment, and off it goes.
Yep.
Don't keep it there. It's not safe.
Dude, I totally agree. I was going to say the exact same thing. We see if you've noticed, Crypto Fam, over the past, I don't know, it's been really evident over the last year. All of the issues. When was the last time you heard an issue about a decentralized platform? Like, exactly, crickets. You really haven't heard too much about it because why? Well, because it's relying on code and it's not relying on somebody who's making decisions that are based upon power and lining other people's pockets. And so when you have computer code that is not looking at how do I best fulfill my master's needs and pockets, you end up with like just a working program as a general rule. Now, this could have been a security threat. It could that they don't want to put out there because that creates fear and don't want the markets to react negatively. But the reality is they were able to just halt trading altogether. So if you needed to make a move at that point on Binance, you're not making it. And so that's not going to happen as far as a decentralized platform goes. At least to my understanding, that's not going to happen. So yeah, I'm with it, man. I
totally
don't love
agree.
it. I don't
But
love it.
look at this. All this bearish crypto news, as bad as a boat helm on a pirate's crotch, because R be driving me nuts.
Good one, Wick. I like it. I like a good dad joke in the middle of the afternoon. There actually is somebody that jumps in. I think the name is Dad Jokes or whatever, and jumps in randomly and says, "Hey, let's kick off the day with a dad joke." Yeah, that's good. That's funny. But yeah, so just be careful, pay attention, just like Crusader said. Keep what funds you need to move around, and other than that, just self-custody. Just really do it. It doesn't take that long to figure it out.
It's
really
so simple, and people sleep on it so much. And some people are in the space for a long time, and they just keep everything on exchanges. I just want to quickly remind everybody, we've got about 30-something people in here. We've only got like 20 likes. Let's smash those likes button. Let's get those likes up, guys. Show the YouTube that you guys are liking what you're hearing and seeing here. So make sure you're having fun. Smash those likes. Hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed just yet. Don't be lurking in the dark. Become friends of the channel. Come on in. It's
fun over here.
So yeah.
Unforgettable name. Shout out to you. We got rid of the dirty fiat money for you. I saw this come into the chat. So just as a shout out to somebody that's here every freaking day, we got a little bit of Danger Close Alpha background going on there. Little apocalyptic times happening. We don't love the dirty fiat money either, but I will tell you, unfortunately, the dirty fiat money right now under your mattress is going to be a lot more safe than the dirty fiat fictional money that's in these banks. So pay attention. Things are continuing to happen. Okay, this next one's fun. This next one for me is great. So if you didn't look at the thumbnail, make sure to check out the thumbnail. I was busy making out with a plant down in my front room. So super important to check out the thumbnail closely.
We always knew you were a tree hugger.
Yes, definitely
all those chemicals over there affecting people.
Save the world. All right. So Greenpeace. Greenpeace has always got something to say. Greenpeace, war on Bitcoin, unintentionally spawns badass new mascot. All right, let's talk about this. So Greenpeace came out and said they basically had a campaign that was aiming to add pressure on Bitcoin developers, miners, and the government to switch to proof of stake. They basically claimed 30 key entities could move Bitcoin from proof of work if they were able to agree to the change. They commissioned this artwork, which is what this was referring to, called the Skull of Satoshi. And it's like 11 feet tall. It has the Bitcoin logo, red laser eyes, and it's all made of recycled electronic waste. But it backfired on them because Bitcoin supporters praised the art piece. Yep, and adopted it as a quasi mascot. So the art piece was called Badass by Will Foxley. He's a media director for Compass Mining. And quote, the most metal Bitcoin artwork to date by Coinmetrics, said by Coinmetrics co-founder Nick Carter. So check this out. So some of Twitter dove into this image, and we're going to talk about the real meat of this in a second. But some of Twitter picked up on like the imagery used in the picture or in the mascot, and they were likening the smokestacks on the skull's head to nuclear cooling towers. And all people on Twitter are funny, dude. Somebody's always got like a keen eye for some sort of imagery, if you will. All right, but let's walk this back. So Greenpeace is not happy because Bitcoin mining is ruining the planet, right? We have all of these banks failing. People are running towards Bitcoin in a lot of cases. And now all of a sudden, we have something else that jumps out there that says, but no, don't. Bitcoin is, they do everything they can to push you one way or the other, depending on what the end result that they want out of this is. We've said it a million times on here. All the Bitcoin mining in the world produces less power than just the dryers in the United States. We're not going to stop drying our clothes. Why is this narrative never ending, Crusader? Is it because most people don't truly understand, and when they hear, oh my gosh, it's all these computers running all over the place and the energy usage is so high? Is it because they just don't truly understand Bitcoin and they'll just go along with what they see, like a lot of people will in a headline? Because it doesn't actually make sense if you break it down.
Yeah, man, people are easily manipulated with statistics, right? You can make a statistic of like 80%, and then the sample is like 5 people. So is that 80% really matter? But people just hear the statistic 80%, you're like, oh man, and they're triggered, right? So that's definitely something that numbers can be skewed and help, and they use it to manipulate people in one way or another. Most people don't know anything about energy consumption on regular utilities all around, nationwide, worldwide at all, right? Same thing happens with the whole recycling and being green. Like there's plenty of countries out there that produce way more pollution and waste way more plastic than the United States, but we went through a whole time period where everybody had to use metal straws and paper straws because the world was gonna end if we didn't. And regardless whether we did or didn't, it does not stop the pollution on the ocean that's happening from all these other countries. So that being said, same thing's happening with the energy consumption of the Bitcoin narrative, right? It's being easily manipulated and skewed into a way that sounds very scary, very easily to the average person that doesn't know what Bitcoin is. They're like, why do people need imaginary internet money? The fiat is fine. Like, why are they wasting so much energy? Just shut it down. And without knowing that they don't understand what money is in the first place. They don't understand all the problems with fiat, and they don't understand the problems that Bitcoin solves, and that the energy consumption, right, the proof of work is what is quantifying the value of Bitcoin. Right. And it's hard to understand that, especially with Michael Saylor, right? He talks way above people's heads. He talks about using all these big fancy words about how great Bitcoin is. But if he were to able to dumb it down to, a 5th grader, it'd be a lot better for most people to hear him listen, be like, okay, I can get along. But most people listen to him, no idea what this guy just said. A lot of words of Bitcoin and then energy and good. They don't understand nothing. So
I mean, you have to ultimately pay for energy usage. There's so many huge, massive problems. If you want to get on Greenpeace's, on their team, and you look around, you would have, I'm talking at least 100, if not 1,000 different things around the world that we do on a daily basis that are absolutely more energy intensive than Bitcoin and that don't make sense. It's funny. Some of the things that are said to be very good for the environment. One of them that I always think is a joke is the windmills. And when you talk about how much energy it takes to basically produce the actual windmill itself, and then how long the life of the windmill is when you and then how long it basically takes to dispose of and get rid of the windmill, it is a net negative by like 15 years worth of energy. It's not actually productive. So it's all just like the Federal Reserve. It's all about finessing some sort of numbers to create a result that they are looking for. And so Greenpeace, listen, save the world, do your thing. I'm not, going to say that doing things good. I'm not saying you shouldn't recycle. I'm not saying that maybe the paper straws are a good idea. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is that Bitcoin is not a threat to our environment. It's just not. And ultimately, Crusader, you're right. So the value comes from the fact that people are paying for energy, and that energy is part of what's securing the network. And we've got huge problems if our electrical grid goes down. Like, don't worry about, people always ask that. Well, what about if the grid goes down with Bitcoin? You can explain to them that you can transmit Bitcoin via radio signals. You can explain all of that. But when it comes down to it, all of our money is magic money at this point anyway. The banks don't actually hold these reserves. Go in and ask for 10K or more, and they're going to tell you, we'll order it for you. We'll have it for you in a couple weeks. And so if the grid went down anyway, we are screwed as it is, right? We need that to continue moving forward. So I don't know, just false narrative. Don't bite on this. It's a bunch of food.
Last thing I want to add to this is the fact that, the Greenpeace organization, whoever represents them, came out calling for government officials and crypto influencers and people like all types of groups of people to band behind this movement to push Bitcoin from proof of work to proof of stake to make Bitcoin green. That's a huge problem. Once we start we're going to see more of this in the future. So these are attacks on Bitcoin. If you're trying, it's like somebody saying right now, hey, we need to change the Constitution for this reason, right? And they're doing it with the Second Amendment, right? They're trying to change that every single day and trying to infringe upon those rights. It's the same thing, right? The code that's written into Bitcoin, if they try to actually change, if somebody wants to create a fork of Bitcoin and create their own thing, let them go ahead. There's no problem with that.
Yeah.
But changing the actual Bitcoin code is changing the laws of Bitcoin, is changing the fundamentals of Bitcoin. It will not be the same Bitcoin moving forward. And if we allow that to happen, whatever group, whatever reason it is, all trust in Bitcoin will be lost. Because if we allow certain changes to happen to the Bitcoin code for a certain reason, there will be another instance and eventually another instance and another instance. And then it's a slippery slope, right? Once you start, you'll never stop making changes because there's always going to be some agenda, some group of people that want to change it for some type of reason. And if we let that happen, things are going to escalate out of control and Bitcoin will never be what it was originally. And at that point, I'm out. I'm gone because I will lose all trust in Bitcoin at that point.
Yeah, because it's not what you signed up for, right? And ultimately, one of the things I will say that's kind of scary is that these massive companies have been buying up. If you've paid attention, Crypto Fam, there's been massive companies buying up these mining farms and buying up these mining rigs and centralizing, let's call it what it is, centralizing Bitcoin mining. I believe, and don't quote me on this number, fam, but I believe that something like 10 or 15 companies owns like 90% of the Bitcoin network. It's something wild like that. It's a huge number. And so my only concern is if those 10 or 15 companies are all being pushed around by the government to do what they say to do, and I don't know the technicals on the back end, but effectively 50% or more of the network, I believe, and I don't know what the actual number is, but would have to agree to make a change. It's just scary that potentially I see that. I guess it could happen.
I mean, it would require more than just the miners. It would also require the code devs to jump in there and do the work itself. So it would have to be those two different arms or the two branches right there to work together the devs along with the miners to be able to make that happen. Find it a
Yeah.
little bit hard, but anything's possible, right? I don't ever think that anything's impossible in this world. I mean, look what's happening with gold. I want to show something here real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, look at
Hit
this.
hit this comment first.
Yeah, Wick says they're trying to increase the value of the dollar. So, of course, they'd attack the assets. They refuse to provide clarity on Wick. Good joke today and great comment here. Yes, absolutely. They do refuse to provide clarity on Bitcoin. We've been waiting for it. When on the background, the dollar is basically eating itself and killing our society. But hey, we have an alternative. No, we don't control that alternative. We can't talk about that. So we're not going to give you any clarity, and we'll keep you all scared and in the dark. That's a really good point.
You guys want to hear about alternatives?
Yeah, let's talk about gold.
Check out this alternative.
Oh yeah,
Look what's happening. Gold can't be verified. A gold bar. I didn't know this, right? I didn't know that this even existed, but I don't know anything about precious metals, right?
Oh,
A gold bar filled with
Tungsten.
dudong,
Tungsten.
which has the same density, right, as the gold itself. So it's easy to just slap it on there, slap some gold coating on it, and bam, slam, you got a bar of gold. It's not really gold. How often does this even happen?
So
I saw some people talking about. I'm not going to mention his name. Somebody we know that comes from the traditional markets, mentioning that this actually happens quite often, and it's not that like rare to see.
That so they acid test a lot of times. One of the tests that they do with gold is they do an acid test with it. And I was told, because I have seen this as well, and I've heard this in the past, I was told that to really effectively do the acid test, they have to effectively eat away, like to really do it correctly so that doesn't happen. They have to eat away a valuable piece of the gold. They have to be prepared to do that. And again, I'm not somebody that deals in gold, but I have been told that some of the gold dealers will literally say, listen, the only way I can take this is if whatever percentage I'm about to effectively melt away to make sure that it is what you say it is, if you take that off of the price per troy ounce. And so, yeah, I mean, dude, anytime you can fake something, people are going to try to do it.
Yep.
Flat out, point blank, period. If it's there for them to do. And the thing is, you can't fake. This is Bitcoin fixes this.
Can't fake Bitcoin.
Fake a freaking Bitcoin. It's not like, hey, I got Bitcoin. You're like, really? Show me. Boom. Blockchain verification. You know what I mean? Dude, it's just not fakeable.
It's one of those things, right? Then you got to think about the gold aspect is like, okay, they get, right? So let's say they get, 100 gold bars of gold. Are they going to melt all of them? Like, are they going to do the acid test on every single one? Or are they going to do it on just the first handful and then be like, all right, the rest of the batch should be good because the first little bit had it. I mean, I'm skeptical and stuff like that, dude. I got some Bitcoin here that I can show you guys that, maybe it works, but I don't think anybody would accept it if I handed them a physical.
Burke said that there's machines for this. And again, I don't know anything about this. I've just heard people talk about the acid test. He said there's machines for this, non-destructive ways. Well, listen, if there is a machine for it, I would say that if you're dealing in the gold markets, you should probably have one. And I'm going to guess, just take a wild guess, that it's probably insanely expensive. But what it was saying in there was that the tungsten's the exact same density. So that machine must have something wild with it, because if the density is the same, the exterior is actually gold. That would be interesting. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. Regardless, the whole point of that whole conversation is, like you said, anything that can be faked will be faked at some point. Yep. Yeah, I'm sure there's ways to find that, but you know what you can't fake? Bitcoin. There's no way around it, so there's no problem there in the first place.
Yeah. Crypto Fam, smash the likes. It is a beautiful Friday afternoon. Looking forward to the upcoming weekend. Smash that like. Let me jump into the chat. You guys have been great today, as always. And as a reminder, I want to tell everybody we are over on Twitter as well. If you guys want to jump up and ask a question, drop your Twitter name in with a super chat. And we will we'll bring you up for a little call action. Okay, cool. Let's move forward. So XRP fam, put them up. I never saw that. Never saw that one coming. We have a case update. Now, everybody, don't get super upset here, okay? It's not the update you're hoping for, okay? Ripple versus SEC. Here's the latest update in the lawsuit. Okay, so
here's the latest upturd. Nothing's happening.
Here's the latest update. So this is actually some information, but it's a big ball of just irritation. So the SEC has filed its response to their letter to Ripple's letters regarding the supplemental authority drawn from Bittner and Voyager cases. They've been asking for that. Boom, the SEC filed its response. Ripple filed a letter, notice of supplemental authority, on March 20th in further support of their defense. Okay, cool. The SEC disagrees with their claim that the excerpts support their fair notice defense. We talked about this fair notice defense before, where effectively they weren't notified and then just boom, served. Okay, so they've been trying to play on that. One of the lawyers, Jeremy Hogan, he's a pro Ripple lawyer, thinks that the Voyager case is going to be really good for Ripple. And then Bittner says, hey, the case isn't significant. So they're working and thinking that Judge Torres might rule in summary judgment motions in the upcoming days. And the legal quandary between Ripple and the SEC might end soon. Now, the outcome. That's what we're all looking for, right? I got news for you. The outcome could be good or bad. The outcome could be Ripple or the SEC might have a victory, or the judge
at some point determining
at some point. But the third option is the judge could order the case to go to trial. The president of Ripple, Monica Lang, is optimistic about reaching a positive resolution in the SEC case. Okay, so Crusader.
Dude, they've been optimistic for 2 years now.
Yes, I get
XRP
it.
Holders have been optimistic for 5 years.
Not
adding up to optimistic numbers.
Listen, not a more dedicated group of people than the XRP fam. I mean, just flat out, if you're still hanging around, I mean, you are part of the fam. I heard yesterday, Crusader, you weren't on, but Lifer said that he's like, I hold 10,000 XRP, and at this point, he said, what did he say? I'm either gonna die with it or go to the moon with it, or something to that effect, right? And I feel the same way. I'm at the point where let's see whatever happens here, and I either made a terrible investment, which really it wasn't because of how cheap I got it, but whatever, could be a terrible investment, or it could have been the best decision of my life. But what I do want to happen, no matter what the price action does, we need this to be bullish for the crypto space. Even if Ripple loses the case, even if they lose the case, even if it loses the case in some way, shape, or form, we need some clarification in the crypto markets. And that's really what the update is. That's really what we're going to get from this case. Now, it doesn't mean the SEC is not going to be just frivolously going after other projects, other tokens, other institutions, whatever the case may be. It doesn't mean that. But if we can get some sort of clarity in the crypto markets, it would be so good for crypto. I just don't see, I think the timing would be really interesting though. So you got the whole banking system collapsing. Ripple is what? Centralized in a manner that surrounds the legacy banking system, right? So now are we going to get a result that's surrounding something in legacy banking that has been going on for years while all these banks are collapsing? That's my question.
Yep, it's called the CBDC, aka XRP.
You just think we're going to move straight into a CBDC? How long do you think it'll be before we move into a CBDC?
Honestly, I think it'll happen before the end of this decade. It will happen. I think it's going to start off slow. I don't think it's going to be a flip of a switch. Like a lot of people in the XRP community like to think that, okay, the switch is going to be flipped, and tomorrow
50K, baby,
everybody wakes up with XRP being the world reserve currency and your CBDC, and that's it. Like, it's done. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a slow transition, just how we had a slow transition from from cash to checks, from checks to eventually debit cards, from debit cards to payment apps, from payment apps to cryptocurrencies, right? And we still have all the rest around. We still have checks, we still have cash, we still have all these other things.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think it's going to be a slow transition into the future of a CBDC. There's going to be lots of incentives, just like they did with the flag around the world, right? They gave a lot of incentives on why to do the thing. So I think that's going to be it's a long-term play. It's a slow movement thing. The government doesn't move fast, and it's going to take time to be able to do all that. But nonetheless, I believe it happens before the end of the decade is over. And yeah, Ripple can jump in, XRP can jump in, save the banking system, be the next liquidity thing. Because all the banks are crashing now. But what stops them really from doing the same thing to XRP that they did to the dollar, right? The fractional reserve system that they use, right? Just overextending themselves all the time. It's just going to be with a different asset. It's going to be with XRP instead of
Well, but
US
there's a finite supply of XRP. That would be total. That would be like changing Bitcoin's code.
Is there?
So yes,
Is
there
there?
is. There is.
And they can't just create more.
No.
All three hooligans get together and say, hey guys, we just need to make a few.
I don't know how it works in the back end, but I know that they were talking about that as far as
it's just like
backing
HBAR.
gold.
It's decentralized, but they shut it down with a touch of a button. Don't worry, guys.
But what I'm saying is they were talking about gold being backed by XRP. You guys probably saw a video about that. The problem with that is that you can't inflate XRP because of the code. Now, Crusader, I'm sure you could do some sort of a fork. You could add something, subtract, whatever. Wherever the government has an ability to do something, if they're involved in it, sure, they're going to freaking figure out how to do it. But yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see just a bullish stance for crypto as a result of this. You guys know I want them to win this case. Obviously, for my bags, I want that to happen. But really, more than for my bags, I want to see this case come to a good ending and a good result for the crypto space. That's what we're really all rooting for. Whether you're rooting for Ripple or not, we want a bullish outcome for the crypto space, or the worst outcome ever, so that we get the biggest drop we've ever seen, and then we just scoop it all up, and then we sit on it and ride the wave, baby. Ride the wave.
What would drop? Freedom. XRP or crypto?
Everything.
If XRP loses?
No. I'm saying just as a result, if we got some straight up clarification that scared the markets into thinking, oh my gosh,
all crypto banned in the United
everything
States.
Banned, everything's whatever. I could see a huge move in that way. No, I don't think that if they lose this case that it'll kill crypto. I do think it will be bad. I do think it'll put doubt into people's minds. But you know what I think is going to happen anyway is I think we're going to get a very vague. We're either going to get a settlement where they're going to pay out after all this freaking time, or we're going to get a very vague response. We are not going to just flat out get clarity from this case. I know it. There's just no freaking way. They won't make it that easy for us.
Yeah. And you know who doesn't care? Bitcoin. XRP can die. All cryptos can die. Bitcoin's still going to exist. Government can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Investing Bros in the house. What's going on? If you guys aren't following the Investing Bros, go make sure you check out their channel. Go follow them. That's Tim Warren. He was on here just the other day. So make sure you go support those guys.
Tim and T Shroom. And then they've got somebody else.
Yeah, a new guy.
Recently. Yeah, they got a new guy. So yeah, check out Investing Bros. They got
the trifecta now.
The trifecta. All right, Crypto Fam. Well, listen, it's Friday. Like I said a couple times. Hope you guys have fun this weekend. Be safe. Get an Uber. Call the Uber. Don't do anything that Keeper wouldn't do. Don't do anything Crusader wouldn't do. We love you guys, and we hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Just as a reminder, and we'd love to hear from you in the Discord. If you're not already in the Discord with Danger Close Alpha, we've still got some NFTs to sell. We can't give away this 5 Ethereum we've been begging to give away until we finish out the rest of these NFTs. It has felt that way recently. They're 0.01. Let's jump into the Discord if you guys have some ideas of some things that we could do to spice things up a little bit besides giving away 5 full Ethereum.
I mean, come on, guys. What else do we gotta do? 5 ETH? What do you want to do? Fix the whole banking system for you guys? I don't know what else we can do here.
That was like a New York version of
a New York chipmunk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. a New Yorker sucking down some helium. Yeah, for sure. All right, Crypto Fam, we love you guys. You could be anywhere on a Friday afternoon, but you are here with us with Debate Crypto. Just remember, question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like it's hot.
We'll see you soon.